The distant stars twinkled peacefully through the main viewport of the Star Wanderer, as Captain Thomas Reed completed his usual walk around the bridge. The merchant vessel had been his home for the past 5 years, and he knew every creak, hum, and whisper of its systems. Today, something felt different. The ship's background noise had changed slightly, almost too subtle to notice. But Reed had learned to trust his instincts. "Jack, run a quick scan of the surrounding space," Reed called out to his systems analyst. "Something doesn't feel right." Jack Wilson looked up from his console, his fingers already moving across the holographic display on it. "Captain, though we haven't seen anyone else out here in weeks, we're pretty far from the usual trade routes." The Star Wanderer carried valuable cargo, experimental quantum computers, and advanced AI modules being transported to the outer colonies. Reed's crew was small but efficient. 15 of the best engineers and traders humanity had to offer. They had made this run dozens of times before, without any problems. Captain Jack's voice cracked with sudden urgency. "Large object just dropped out of faster-than-light travel. It's massive, sir. At least 3 times our size." Reed's heart skipped a beat, but his voice remained steady. "Show me the main." Main screen flickered to life, displaying a sleek, predatory-looking vessel. Its dark hull seemed to absorb the starlight around it, making it look like a hole in space. The design was like nothing Reed had ever seen before. "All hands to stations," Reed ordered through the ship. "Wickham Chief Martine is to the bridge immediately." The alien ship's presence triggered a flurry of activity throughout the Star Wanderer. Chief Engineer, Anna Martinez, arrived on the bridge moments later. Her dark hair is still messy from working in the engine room. "What are we looking at?" she asked, studying the screen with intense focus. Before anyone could answer, the comm system crackled with an incoming transmission. The voice that came through was artificially smooth, speaking perfect English with an unsettling lack of emotion. "Human vessel, this is the Dominion worship. Eternal victory. Your presence in this sector is unauthorized. Your technological level has been assessed and deemed insufficient for safe operation of a starship. Prepare to be shut down." Reed exchanged glances with his bridge crew. "This is Captain Thomas Reed, of the merchant vessel Star Wanderer. We're on a registered trade route and carrying authorized cargo, please. State the nature of our violation." A harsh laugh came through the speakers. "Captain Reed, your entire species is the violation. We have observed your rapid technological advancement with growing concern. Humans are too aggressive, too unpredictable, to be trusted with advanced technology. We are the Dominion guardians of civilized space, and we have decided that humanity must be contained." Martins moved closer to Reed, speaking in a low voice. "Captain, on detecting energy buildup in their forward section. Whatever they're planning, it's not going to be friendly." Reed straightened his uniform. "Dominion V, we have no hostile intentions, but we will defend ourselves if necessary." "Defend?" The alien voice sounded amused. "Oh no, Captain. We have no intention of destroying your ship or harming your crew. That would be uncivilized. We have a much better solution." The energy readings from the alien ship suddenly spiked before Reed could give any orders. A brilliant purple beam lanced out from the Dominion vessel, enveloping the Star Wanderer in its glow. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, one by one, systems began shutting down across the ship. Navigation, weapons, shields, propulsion, everything went dark. Even the emergency backup systems failed to respond. "Martinez, what's happening?" Reed demanded, watching helplessly as his ship died around him. The chief engineer's fingers flew across her tablet, which was one of the few devices still working. "They're using some kind of targeted electromagnetic pulse, but it's like nothing I've ever seen. It's not just shutting things down. It's rewriting our systems at a fundamental level. They're locking us out of our own ship." The Dominion voice returned, now tinged with satisfaction. "Your vessel has been neutralized, Captain Reed. Don't worry. We've left your life support systems functioning at minimal levels. A rescue beacon will activate in exactly 30 days, giving you time to reflect on humanity's place in the galaxy. Consider this a lesson in humility." The alien ship began to turn away its message. Mission apparently complete. Reed gripped the arms of his captain's chair, his knuckles white with tension. "Options?" he asked, looking around at his crew. Jack spoke up first, his eyes owed to his tablet. "Sir, Something strange is happening with the quantum computer core. We were transporting. It's still partially active, operating on its own internal power supply. And there's something else. The alien shutdown pulse. It did something unexpected when it hit our experimental AI modules. Martinez rushed to Jack's station, looking over his shoulder at the readings. Her eyes widened. Captain, I think the pulse may have created an unintended bridge between our technology and theirs. The quantum core is picking up echoes of their systems, like they accidentally created a connection when they tried to shut us down. Reed leaned forward, a glimmer of hope sparking in his mind. Can we use it? Maybe Martinez was already pulling up schematics on her tablet. The alien pulse was designed to shut down conventional systems, but our quantum core operates on completely different principles. They might not have accounted for that. If we can understand what happened during the shutdown, we might be able to. She trailed off. Lost in calculations, Jack picked up her thread of thought. Their overconfidence might have given us an opening, sir. They thought they were dealing with simple human technology. They never considered that their attack might actually give us access to their advanced systems. Reed stood up, looking around at his crew in the dim emergency lighting. He could see determination, replacing fear in their eyes. The aliens had meant to teach humanity a lesson about their limitations. Instead, they might have just given them the key to something extraordinary. How long until the life support starts becoming critical? Reed asked. About 72 hours at current consumption rates, Jack replied. Reed nodded. Then we have 72 hours to prove those aliens wrong about humanity. Martinez, Jack, gather. Anyone who can help. I want options on my desk in 2 hours. The Dominion thinks they shut us down. Let's show them what humans do when backed into a corner. As his crew rushed to work, Reed stared out at the stars through the darkened viewport. The Dominion had called humans aggressive and unpredictable, treating these qualities as weaknesses. But Reed knew better. Those same traits had driven humanity to survive and thrive against impossible odds throughout their history. The aliens had handed down their judgment from a position of smug superiority, never imagining that their attempt to humble humanity might instead give them unprecedented access to advanced alien technology. As Reed watched his crew spring into action, already adapting and planning, despite their apparently hopeless situation, he allowed himself a small smile. The Dominion had tried to teach humanity a lesson, but they were about to learn one themselves. Never underestimate a species that turned every major setback in their history into a stepping stone for advancement. The Star Wanderer might be down, but its crew was far from out. The emergency lights cast a dim red glow across the Star Wanderer's main engineering bay, as Anna Martinez stared at the holographic display floating above her workstation. She had been studying the readings from the quantum computer core for 6 hours straight, and something wasn't adding up. The numbers suggested possibilities that seemed too good to be true. Jack, come look at this, she called out to Wilson, who was working nearby. Am I going crazy? Or are we seeing actual alien code bleeding through our systems? Jack moved to her station, his eyes widening as he studied the data streams. The quantum core's display showed 2 distinct patterns of information flow, one that followed their familiar human programming architecture, and another that seemed to operate on completely different principles. It's like Jack paused, searching for the right words. It's like their shutdown pulse created a bridge. When they tried to rewrite our systems, they accidentally created a 2-way connection. We're not just seeing their code. We're getting glimpses of how their entire technology works. Martins pulled up another display, this one showing the ship's power distribution network. Most systems were dark, but the quantum core glowed with a faint but steady pulse of energy. More importantly, tendrils of that energy were slowly spreading through the ship's neural network, following paths that shouldn't have existed. Get the captain down here! Martin said he needs to see this. Captain Reed arrived minutes later, looking tired, but alert. The past day had been rough on everyone, with the crew working in shifts to try and find a way to restore their ship systems. The recycled air was already starting to feel thin. Tell me you have something, Reed said, moving to stand between his chief engineer and systems analyst. Martinez nodded. We think we figured out why the quantum core survived their attack. The Dominion's technology operates on quantum principles too, very advanced ones. When their pulse hit us, instead of shutting down the core, It created a kind of quantum entanglement. In simple terms, Reed asked, rubbing his temples. Jack stepped in their overconfidence. Backfired, sir. They tried to force their technology into our systems to shut them down, but they didn't account for the experimental quantum core. Instead of being locked out, we've been given a back door into their technological architecture. Reed leaned closer to the display, watching the strange patterns of energy flow. Can we use it? That's where it gets interested, Martin said, her voice rising with excitement. The quantum core isn't just accessing their technology, it's learning from it. And because our AI modules were connected to the core during the attack, they're evolving in response to the new information. It's like we've been given a Rosetta Stone for understanding their entire technological base. She pulled up another display, showing a simulation of what they discovered. Their systems are incredibly advanced, but they're also rigid. They've optimized everything to the point where there's no room for adaptation. But our technology, especially the experimental AI, is built to learn and evolve. We're not just looking at their technology, Jack added. We're improving on it. The AI is finding ways to combine their quantum engineering with human innovation. If we can fully integrate these insights into our system, we could do more than just restart the ship. Martin, it's finished. We could upgrade it beyond anything the Dominion has. Ever seen Red straightened up, a spark of hope igniting in his eyes. How long? Martinez and Jack exchanged glances. The integration process is already happening, at a quantum level, Martin said. But to safely implement these changes throughout the ship systems, we need at least 48 hours, maybe less. If we get the whole crew involved, we have 60 hours until life support becomes critical, Reed reminded them. What do you need? Teams, Martin said immediately. We need to split the crew into groups. Some to help implement the changes, others to monitor for any potential problems. The quantum core is stable, but we're talking about fundamentally altering how our ship works. One mistake could fry every system we have left. Reed nodded. You'll have everything you need. But first, EXP. Explain to me exactly what we're attempting here. I need to know what I'm risking my crew for. Jack pulled up a new diagram. This one showing the Star Wanderer. Basic systems architecture. The Dominion's attack gave us access to their quantum engineering principles. Their technology is incredibly advanced. They can manipulate matter and energy in ways we've only theorized about, but they use it in very predetermined, inflexible ways. Our advantage, Martin's continued, is human creativity. We're taking their quantum engineering and applying it in ways they never considered. The AI is already showing us possibilities that would probably horrify them with their inefficiency. But they'll work. We're not just copying their technology, we're reimagining it. Reed studied the diagrams, noting how the proposed changes would affect every system on the ship. And you're certain this will work? Certain as we can be, Martins replied. The principles are sound. The quantum core is proof that the integration is possible. We just need to scale it up. Do it, Reed ordered. I'll divide the crew into teams and get everyone briefed. How should we start? For the next several hours, the Star Wanderer crew threw themselves into the work. The ship's corridors, dim and cold from the power shutdown, buzzed with activity. Teams of engineers and technicians moved from SE section to section, following Martinez's carefully planned integration sequence. The process was unlike anything they'd attempted before. They weren't just repairing systems. They were rebuilding them from the quantum level up, using principles that merged human ingenuity with alien efficiency. The ship's eye growing more sophisticated by the hour as it processed the quantum data guided them through changes that would have seemed impossible. Days ago, some of the crew voiced concern about the radical nature of the modifications. But as the hours passed, even the skeptics couldn't deny the results. Systems that had been completely dead began showing signs of life, but in entirely new ways. The power grid, when tested in isolated sections, displayed capabilities that defied their previous understanding of physics. It's beautiful, Martinez whispered as she watched the test results come in. Look at how the quantum fields are integrating. The Dominion thinks their technology is perfect because they've optimized everything, but they don't understand. Sometimes the most elegant solution isn't the most efficient one on paper. Sometimes you need to think sideways. Jack nodded, monitoring the eye progress. They've probably been using the same designs for centuries, never considering alternatives, because they already work perfectly within their understanding. But the AI isn't constrained by their assumptions. It's finding connections they never imagined. As the 40-hour mark approached, the changes were becoming more visible. Sections of the ship's hull had begun to exhibit strange properties, seeming to shift and flow. At a microscopic level, the neural networks that controlled ship systems were growing more complex, developing new pathways that defied conventional engineering. The crew of the Star Wanderer was doing more than just repairing their ship. They were pushing the boundaries of what was possible, combining human determination with alien technology in ways the Dominion had never dreamed of. And as they worked, none of them noticed the faint rhythmic pulses of energy that had begun to emanate from the quantum core, rippling out into space like a beacon of things to come. The Star Wanderer's engine room hummed with an entirely new frequency that seemed to vibrate through the bones of everyone present. Martine stood before the main control panel, her hands hovering over the holographic interface that had sprouted intricate alien-looking symbols alongside the familiar human controls. The quantum core pulsed with a deep blue light that filled the room with shifting shadows. "Final systems check," she called out to her team. "Jack, how's the AI integration looking?" Jack's fingers danced across his tablet, which now displayed data in ways that would have been incomprehensible just 2 days ago. "The merger is stable. The AI has fully adapted to the quantum architecture. It's incredible, Anna. It's not just processing information anymore. It's actually predicting quantum states before they occur." The past 12 hours had seen changes that defied everything they thought they knew about spacecraft engineering. The hull had developed a strange, almost organic quality, microscopically repairing itself and adjusting its structure in response to stress. The power grid had evolved into something that looked more like a living nervous system than a traditional energy distribution network. Captain Martin had spoken to her comm. "We're ready for the first full power test. But you should know, the simulations suggest this is going to be more than just getting our systems back online. The ship. It's different now." Reed's voice came back clear and strong. "Different. How the quantum integration has changed everything. The AI isn't just running the ship anymore. It's become part of it. And the whole modifications we've made. Sir, I don't think we're flying in normal spacecraft anymore." There was a pause before Reed responded. "We passed normal. The moment the Dominion tried to shut us down. Proceed with the power-up sequence." Martinez took a deep breath and placed her hand on the main control panel. The holographic interface responded to her touch, spreading a web of light across her fingers, beginning. Full system activation in 3, 2, 1. She pressed her palm flat against the panel for a moment. Nothing happened. Then, like a wave of liquid light energy surged through the ship's new quantum networks. The hull resonated with a deep tone that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Displays that had been dark for days blazed to life, showing readings that should have been impossible. "Status report." Reed's voice cut through the comm. "All systems are online," Jack reported, his voice filled with awe. "But sir, these readings, the quantum core isn't just powering the ship. It's rewriting the local laws of physics. We're generating our own quantum field, like a bubble of altered space-time." The ship shuddered, but not from any mechanical strain. The very fabric of space around the Star Wanderer seemed to flex and ripple through the viewport. The stars appeared to shift and dance as the quantum field stabilized Martins to bridge. The chief engineer called out, "Captain, you need to see this. The hull. It's not just self-repairing anymore. It's adapting every bit of radiation, every micromore impact. The ship is learning from them, improving its structure." At the quantum level on the bridge, Reed watched in amazement as his command chair adjusted itself to his posture, the metal flowing like liquid before solidifying again, in a perfect ergonomic form. The entire bridge was transforming displays and controls, shifting to optimal positions without any input. The AI Jack's voice was filled with excitement. "It's not just predicting quantum states anymore. It's manipulating." "Sir, I think we can generate quantum sheet, create localized time dilation effects, maybe even manipulate gravity itself." Martinez's hands flew over the controls, running diagnostic after diagnostic. The Dominion's technology was already capable of all this, but they only used it in predetermined ways. By combining it with our AI and letting it evolve naturally, we've created something entirely new. The ship isn't just using quantum effects. It's actively experiment men with them. A sudden alarm caught everyone's attention. Energy spike detected, Jack called out. Something's happening with the weapons systems. The ship's conventional weapons arrays had undergone the same quantum transformation as everything else. What had once been simple railguns and plasma torpedoes were now something else entirely. The weapon ports rippled with quantum energy, ready to fire projectiles that existed in multiple states simultaneously. We need to test everything. Reed ordered, but carefully. Martine and Jack, start with the defensive systems. I want to know exactly what we're capable of before we try anything aggressive. The next few hours were a blur of tests and discoveries. Each system they activated revealed new capabilities. The quantum shields could predict and counterattacks before they happened. The engines could bend space-time, allowing for maneuvers that violated normal physics. Even the light support system had evolved, creating an environment that actively promoted healing and enhanced human performance. It's like the ship is alive, one of the junior engineers whispered, watching the hull shift and flow to maintain optimal structural integrity. Martinez nodded, understanding exactly what he meant. The Star Wanderer had become something more than a ship. It was a fusion of human innovation and alien technology, guided by an A. That thought in quantum possibilities. Every moment brought new improvements. As the ship learned and adapted, Captain, she called out, checking the latest readings. I think we're ready for a full capability demonstration. But sir, there's something else you should know. The quantum field we're generating. It's not just affecting the ship. It's reaching out, trying to connect with other quantum-capable systems. If the Dominion comes back, they'll be in for quite a surprise. Prize read. Finished. Good. Let them come. They wanted to teach us about our limitations. Instead, they're going to learn about human potential. The Star Wanderer hung in space, its hull now shimmering with subtle patterns of quantum energy. It looked almost nothing like the merchant vessel that had been ambushed days ago. The Dominion had tried to shut them down, thinking they were dealing with simple human technology. What they had actually done was catalyze an evolutionary leap in human engineering. All stations prepare for full systems. Test read. Ordered. Let's see what this ship can really do. As the crew took their positions, the quantum core's pulse deepened, sending waves of energy through the ship's transformed systems. The Dominion had meant to humble humanity by showing them their technological inferiority. Instead, they had given humans exactly what they needed to surpass them. A glimpse of advanced technology, combined with the freedom to reimagine its possibilities. The Star Wanderer wasn't just back online. It had become something unprecedented in the galaxy. A ship that combined the best of human creativity with the most advanced alien technology, unrestricted by conventional thinking or traditional limitations. And somewhere out there, the Dominion was about to learn a valuable lesson about underestimating human ingenuity. A subtle vibration ran through the Star Wanderer bridge as the ship's sensor detected an incoming faster-than-light signature. The crew had been waiting for this moment, running drills and testing systems for the past 12 hours. Now they would see if their incredible transformation would hold up against the very aliens who had triggered it. Dominion warship, dropping out of FTL, Jack announced from his station. Same vessel as before. They're probably here to check if we're ready for pickup. Reed sat calmly in his command chair, watching the mass alien ship materialized against the starfield. The Star Wanderer's quantum-enhanced sensors revealed details they had missed during the first encounter. Power signatures, weapon systems, shield frequencies, all laid bare by their new capabilities. They're scanning us, Martins reported from engineering, but our quantum field is distorting their readings. They can't get a clear picture of what we've become. The comm system crackled to life with the same artificially smooth voice they had heard days ago. Human vessel, Star Wanderer. This is curious. Our sensors detect power signatures from your vessel. This should not be possible. Reed allowed himself a small smile before responding. Dominion vessel, this is Captain Reed. We've made some improvements since your last visit. Would you like a demonstration? There was a pause before the alien voice returned, now tinged with confusion. Your species continues to demonstrate concerning levels of unpredictability. Explain how you have restored power to your systems. Why don't you scan us again? Reed suggested. This time we'll let you see exactly what we've done with your generous gift. The Star Wanderer's quantum field shifted temporarily. becoming transparent to the Dominion sensors. The effect was immediate. Alarms could be heard blaring through the open Komong channel as the aliens realized what they were seeing. Impossible. The artificial smoothness of the alien voice cracked. You have corrupted our sacred technologies. Your primitive minds cannot comprehend the dangers of such reckless modification. Stand down immediately, or we will be forced to take more permanent action. Reed looked at his crew, seeing determination in their eyes. We gave you a chance to retreat. Remember that. He closed the comm channel and addressed his crew. Battle stations. Let's show them what humanity does with a little technological inspiration. The Dominion ship fired first, launching a barrage of energy weapons that would have vaporized the Star Wanderer in its original form. But now, the quantum shields predicted the attack before the beams even left the alien weapons. Space itself seemed to bend around the merchant ship, the energy passing harmlessly through the spots where they had been microseconds before. Return fire, reordered non-lethal demonstrations. Only let's be better than them. The Star Wanderer transformed weapons came to life. Instead of traditional energy beams or projectiles, they fired concentrated bursts of quantum probability. The shots passed straight through the Dominion shields as if they weren't there, because in several quantum states, they actually weren't. The alien ship's engines sputtered and died as the quantum bursts reorganized their energy to distribution systems. More shots followed each one, precisely calculated by the AI, to disable rather than destroy. Their launching fighters Jack called out a swarm of smaller craft emerged from the Dominion vessel, their formations perfect and precise. But they were flying according to predetermined tactical patterns that the Star Wanderer AI had already analyzed. Encountered, activating point defense system. Martins announced. The transformed merchant ships, whole rippled quantum energy, forming into temporary weapon emplacements. That fired bursts of localized time dilation, the Dominion fighters found themselves trapped in bubbles of slowed time. Their perfect formation becoming their perfect prison. Their main ship is preparing something big, Jack warned. Energy readings are off the charts. The Dominion warship's hull split open, revealing a massive weapon that began gathering energy from the surrounding space. It was the same type of shut-down pulse they had used before, but much more powerful. They're trying to overload our quantum field, Martins reported, but they don't understand. We're not just using their technology. We've evolved beyond it. Jack, initiate protocol. Mirror the Star Wanderer's quantum field. Pulsed once, twice, then expanded rapidly as the Dominion shutdown pulse fired. It met not a target, but a quantum reflection of itself. The pulse bounced back, amplified by the Star Wanderer field. The alien ship systems went dark, just as they had done to the merchant vessel days ago. But this time, the effect was different. The Star Wanderer's quantum field reached out, connecting with the disabled alien vessel systems. We have access to their network, Jack reported, his fingers flying over his console. Their quantum cores are compatible with our modified systems, should we Reed nodded. Show them what cooperation could look like. Upload our innovations to their secondary systems. Life support engines, basic controls. Let them see what they could learn from us. The crew watched as their quantum algorithms spread through the alien ship systems, rewriting and improving them, the same way they had transformed the Star Wanderer. Lights began to flicker back on, aboard the Dominion vessel. But now they pulsed with the same subtle rhythm as the merchant ship's quantum core. Incoming transmission, Jack, announced the alien voice that came through the Kong. Was different now, humbled but also tanged with something that sounded like wonder. Human vessel, what have you done to our ship? We improved it, Reed replied simply. Just like we improved ours. After your attack, you tried to teach us our place in the galaxy, but you forgot something important about humans. We don't accept artificial limitations. We adapt, we innovate, and we share what we learn. Our sensors, the alien voice paused. The efficiency improvements in our systems exceed our most optimized configurations. How is this possible? Martinez leaned forward to speak into the comm. Because you only saw technology as a tool to be optimized. We saw it as something that could grow and evolve. Your attack gave us access to quantum engineering, but our creativity showed us how to use it in ways you never imagined. The Dominion ship hung in space, its fighters still frozen in their time. dilation fields, its systems now running on hybrid human-alien protocols that their builders had never dreamed possible. The Star Wanderer crew had done more than just defend themselves. They had demonstrated a completely new way of thinking about technology. "The choice is yours," Reed said to the aliens. "We can remove our improvements and leave you to your existing systems, or you can accept that maybe humanity has something to teach you about innovation and cooperation. What's it going to be?" The answer, when it came, would mark the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history. Dominion had sought to contain humanity's technological growth. Instead, they had become witnesses to, and now participants in, an unprecedented leap forward in technological evolution. The Star Wanderer floated in the void, its quantum F gently pulsing, a testament to what was possible when human creativity met advanced technology without artificial constraints. The stars seemed to shine brighter through the Star Wanderer's quantum-enhanced viewport as Captain Reed watched the Dominion ship systems slowly come back online. The massive alien vessel's hull now shimmered with the same subtle patterns as his own ship, a visible sign of the technological revolution they had just sparked. "Their command staff is requesting permission to come aboard," Jack announced from his station. "They say their leading quantum engineer wants to see our modifications firsthand." Reed exchanged glances with Martinez, who nodded encouragingly. "Grant them permission. Have them dock at the main airlock." "Martinez, Jack, you're with me. Let's show our guests what humanity can do when pushed to innovate." The Dominion delegation consisted of 3 tall, silvery-skinned beings wearing elaborately patterned environmental suits. Their leader, who introduced himself as first engineer, Vex couldn't hide his amazement as they walked through the transformed corridors of the Star Wanderer. "Impossible," he muttered, watching the whole ripple and adjust around them. "You've achieved quantum integration at a cellular level. The ship structure, it's evolving in real time." Martinez smiled. "That was one of our first breakthroughs. When your shutdown pulse forced quantum principles into our systems, our AI recognized patterns that your fixed protocols had never explored. We didn't just copy your technology, we let it grow." They reached engineering, where the quantum core pulsed with deep blue light. The Dominion engineers froze at the sight, their instruments wearing as they took readings. "Your quantum field," said his artificial voice, struggling to maintain its usual smoothness. "It's not just manipulating space-time, it's learning from it. Every fluctuation, every interaction, your ship is actively experimenting with quantum mechanics. That's the difference between our approaches," Jack explained, pulling up a holographic display of the ship's neural network. "You saw technology as something to perfect and then lock in place. We saw it as something that could constantly improve itself." Vex studied the display, his long fingers tracing the complex patterns of energy flow. "The efficiency rates we're seeing in your systems, they exceed our theoretical maximums, but the power consumption is orders of magnitude lower than our calculations suggest. Should be possible, because you were calculating based on perfect efficiency." Martin said, "We found that letting the systems be slightly imperfect, but able to learn and adapt, actually produced better results. The quantum field compensates for inefficiencies by finding new ways to handle them." Reed watched the aliens examine their ship systems, noting how their initial superiority had been replaced by genuine curiosity. "Your shutdown attempt gave us access to quantum engineering principles that might have taken us centuries to discover on our own," he said. "But it was human creativity that turned those principles into something new. And now you've shared these improvements with our vessel." Vex noted why. "You could have simply disabled us and left." "Because that's not who we are," Reed replied. "Humanity has always grown through sharing knowledge, not hoarding it. Yes, we can be aggressive and unpredictable, but those same traits drive us to explore, to innovate, and to reach up to others." The tour continued through the ship, with the Dominion engineer growing more animated as they discovered each new innovation, the weapon systems that could disable, without destroying, the shields that learned from every attack, the hull that repaired and improved itself. Each demonstration showed them a new way of thinking about technology. "Our council will need to reevaluate its position on human technological development," Vex finally admitted. "As they returned to the airlock, we thought we were containing a potential threat. Instead, we may have robbed ourselves of valuable collaboration opportunities." Martinez stepped forward. "It's not too late to change that. The quantum improvements we uploaded to your ship are just the beginning. Imagine what we could achieve if we worked together, combining your advanced principles with our adaptive approach. The Dominion engineer posture shifted, indicating deep thought. The Council has maintained power through technological superiority for millennia. This could change everything it already has, Reed said firmly. Your attack was meant to teach us our place in the galaxy. Instead, it showed everyone that artificial limitations only hold back progress. Technology shouldn't be about maintaining power. It should be about growing and improving together. As the Dominion delegation prepared to return to their ship, Vex turned back one last time. There will be resistance from the Council. Many will see these innovations as dangerous, unpredictable, just as they saw humanity. Then show them what we showed you, Jack suggested. Let them see how quantum systems can evolve beyond their original design. Let them experience firsthand what happens when you embrace innovation instead of fearing it. The aliens departed, but it wasn't an ending. It was a beginning. Word spread quickly through the galaxy about the merchant vessel that had turned a shutdown attempt into an evolutionary leap in quantum engineering. Other species, hearing about the hybrid technology that combined alien efficiency with human creativity, began reaching out to Earth's governments. The Star Wanderer crew spent the next several weeks documenting and sharing their discoveries. Martins and Jack worked with scientists from Earth and other worlds, showing them how to safely replicate and improve upon their quantum integration techniques. The ship itself continued to evolve each day, bringing new improvements and possibilities. 1 month after the confrontation, Reed stood on his bridge, watching his crew work with an ease that would have seemed impossible before the ship hummed around them. Its quantum field now so advanced that it could anticipate their needs before they even realized them. Message from Earth Command, Jack announced. They're requesting that we head up the new Joint Species Quantum Development Initiative. The Dominion Council SIL has agreed to full technological cooperation. Reed smiled. Plot a course for Earth. It's time to show everyone what's possible when we stop limiting ourselves and start working together. The Star Wanderer's engines powered up the quantum field, extending around them like a living thing. As they prepared to jump to faster-than-light speed, Reed thought about how far they come. The Dominion had tried to shut them down, thinking they were ending a potential threat. Instead, they had sparked a revolution in both technology and interspecies cooperation. The stars stretched and blurred around them as the ship accelerated its hybrid systems, performing maneuvers that defied conventional physics. Humanity had been given a glimpse of advanced technology, and in true human fashion, they had reimagined its very foundations. The age of artificial limitations was over. The age of quantum evolution had begun in the engine room. Martins watched the quantum core pulse, with energy that was now being studied by scientists across the galaxy. The Dominion had meant to teach humanity a lesson about their place in the universe. Instead, they had learned the most important lesson of all. Never underestimate a species that sees setbacks as opportunities, that turns limitations into stepping stones, and that believes the best way forward is to share knowledge rather than hoard it. The Star Wanderer streaked through space, leaving a trail of quantum possibilities in its wake, a living testament to what could happen when human ingenuity met advanced technology without fear or artificial constraints. They had done more than upgrade their ship to God mode. They had shown the galaxy a whole new way to think about progress itself.